An X on a piece of aging parchment is more than a cliché. It's a key to a lost world of secrets, codes, and untold riches. It is a symbol that has ignited human imagination for generations, conjuring images of adventure, mystery, and the promise of a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. This enduring allure stems from a potent combination of history and the thrill of the unknown, a narrative that blends cartography with storytelling and our innate desire for exploration. From legendary pirate charts to cryptic ancient scrolls, the treasure map remains a powerful icon, representing the tantalizing possibility that something of immense value lies just out of sight, waiting for the right person to decipher its secrets. But beyond the romanticized imagery lies a complex world of verifiable history, intricate codes, and the relentless pursuit of lost fortunes. Our journey into the world of treasure maps takes us through time, from the earliest documented accounts of hidden wealth to the modern-day treasure hunters who still follow these ancient clues. We will delve into the minds of pirates, the secrets of ancient civilizations, and the meticulous work of cartographers who both concealed and revealed the world's hidden corners. With the guidance of historians, we will separate fact from the pervasive fiction that surrounds these enigmatic documents. Are they genuine guides to unimaginable riches, or clever fabrications designed to ensnare the hopeful? And perhaps the most tantalizing question of all, can these mysterious maps still lead to legendary wealth today? The ancient origins of charted treasures. The concept of creating a record to locate valuable items is as old as civilization itself. Long before the popular image of the pirate's map took hold, ancient cultures were already creating sophisticated guides to valuable resources and sacred sites. In ancient Egypt, detailed plans were drawn to show the locations of burial chambers and the priceless artifacts interred with the pharaohs. While these were more architectural blueprints than treasure maps in the adventurous sense, they served a similar purpose: to document the location of great wealth for a specific intended audience. Similarly, ancient Chinese and Mesopotamian societies developed advanced mapping techniques to record the whereabouts of precious resources. The Roman military, ever practical, created detailed maps indicating the locations of supply caches, which over centuries of imperial decline became the basis for future treasure hunting legends. However, one of the most remarkable and verifiable early treasure maps is not made of parchment but of metal. Discovered in 1952 in a cave near Qumran alongside the other Dead Sea Scrolls, the Copper Scroll stands apart. Unlike its counterparts, which are literary or religious texts written on papyrus or animal skin, the Copper Scroll is an inventory of treasure, etched into thin sheets of copper and tin. This nearly 2,000-year-old document lists 64 locations where staggering quantities of gold and silver were hidden. The descriptions are tantalizingly specific, like this opening passage: in the ruin that is in the valley of Akkosh, under the steps leading to the east 40 long cubits, a chest of silver and its vessels with a weight of 17 talents. The total treasure described in the Copper Scroll has been estimated to be worth over $1 billion in today's currency. But the question of its origin and authenticity remains a subject of intense debate among scholars. Some believe the treasure is fictional, a work of folklore. Others hypothesize that it was the treasure of the Second Temple of Jerusalem, hidden away before its destruction by the Romans in 70 CE. Another theory suggests the treasure belonged to the Essenes, a Jewish sect that inhabited the Qumran area. Despite the detailed descriptions and the fact that many of the landmarks mentioned can still be identified, no treasure from the Copper Scroll has ever been officially reported as found. This ancient artifact, therefore, remains one of history's most profound cartographic enigmas. The golden age of piracy and the myth of the X. The romanticized image of the pirate treasure map, with its skull and crossbones, cryptic symbols, and the iconic X marks the spot, largely owes its existence to literature, not history. Robert Louis Stevenson's 1883 novel, Treasure Island, single-handedly created the enduring archetype of the pirate treasure map that continues to captivate us today. The hand-drawn chart that sets young Jim Hawkins on his adventure became the blueprint for what most people imagine when they think of a treasure map. While tales of hidden pirate loot existed before Stevenson's work, detailed maps leading to it were exceedingly rare. The historical reality is that pirates, for the most part, did not bury their treasure. Their ill-gotten gains often consisted of perishable goods like spices, textiles, and alcohol, which needed to be sold quickly to be converted into cash. For a pirate crew living on the edge of society and the law, the immediate distribution and spending of wealth was far more practical and desirable than long-term clandestine burial. Most pirates spent their wealth as fast as they acquired it in port towns, on drink, gambling, and revelry. There are, however, very few documented cases of pirates burying their loot, and even fewer that involve a map. The most notable exception is the case of Captain William Kidd. In 1699, Kidd did bury a small cache of treasure on Gardiner's Island, off the eastern tip of Long Island, New York. However, this was not a long-term plan for a swashbuckling retirement. Kidd, a former privateer, was desperately trying to clear his name of piracy charges, and the treasure was intended as a bargaining chip with the colonial authorities. The treasure was swiftly recovered by the governor and used as evidence against him at his trial, which ultimately led to his execution. Over the years, the legend of Captain Kidd's lost treasure has grown exponentially, with many believing that the Gardiner S. Island cache was only a small fraction of his total wealth. This belief has fueled countless treasure hunts from the Caribbean to the coasts of North America, though no additional verifiable treasure of Kidd's has ever been found. The symbolism we so readily associate with pirate maps is also largely a product of fiction. The ubiquitous X to mark a treasure's location is a literary invention, a brilliant and simple narrative device created by Stevenson. Historical maps from the Age of Exploration, a period that overlapped with the golden age of piracy, were sophisticated navigational tools. They often included symbols, but these were for marking navigational hazards, depth soundings, safe anchorages, and other practical information vital for mariners, not for locating buried chests of gold. While pirates certainly used maps for navigation, often stolen from the very ships they plundered, the idea of them creating elaborate cryptic charts to their own hidden fortunes is more myth than reality. The enigmatic charts of exploration and uncharted lands. Beyond the realm of pirate lore, there exist historical maps that present mysteries of a different kind, maps that seem to show knowledge far ahead of their time. Perhaps the most famous and debated of these is the Piri Reis map of 1513. Created by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis, this map is a stunningly detailed portolan chart, a type of navigational map used in the Middle Ages. Drawn on gazelle skin, only a fragment of the original world map has survived, showing parts of the Atlantic Ocean and the coasts of Europe, Africa, and the Americas. What makes the Piri Reis map so intriguing is its depiction of the coastlines of South America and Africa, with a remarkable degree of accuracy for the era. Piri Reis himself noted on the map that he compiled it from around 20 different source maps, including 8 Ptolemaic maps, 4 Portuguese maps, an Arabic map, and one drawn by Christopher Columbus. This reference to a Columbus map is itself a mystery, as none of his original charts are known to have survived. The most controversial aspect of the Piri Reis map is its depiction of a landmass at the southern edge that some have interpreted as an ice-free Antarctica. This has led to speculative theories about ancient seafaring civilizations with advanced knowledge of global geography, as Antarctica was not officially discovered until 1773 and its subglacial coastline was only mapped with modern technology in the 20th century. Mainstream historians and cartographers, however, argue that the southern landmass is more likely a distorted representation of the South American coastline, which was bent eastward to fit on the parchment, a common practice among cartographers of the period when dealing with unexplored territories. They also point to several inaccuracies on the map, such as the inclusion of mythical islands in the Caribbean. Despite these debates, the Piri Reis map remains a testament to the sophisticated cartographic knowledge of the early 16th century, and a window into the lost maps and geographical data of past civilizations. Another category of mysterious maps comes to us from an even earlier period, suggesting that map-making for the purpose of locating resources is an ancient practice. The Saint Belec slab, a piece of rock etched with mysterious markings dating back 4,000 years to the Bronze Age, was rediscovered in 2014 by researchers in France. First unearthed in 1900, its significance was not initially understood, and it was stored away in a castle cellar. Now, archaeologists believe it to be Europe's oldest three-dimensional map, depicting the Odette River Valley in northwestern France with an accuracy of about 80% when compared to modern maps. Researchers are now using the slab as a guide, believing it might lead them to other undiscovered archaeological sites from the Bronze Age. This ancient map serves as a powerful reminder that the desire to chart our surroundings and mark places of importance is a fundamental part of human history. Era. The cryptographer's challenge, codes, ciphers, and hidden clues. The allure of a treasure map is often amplified by the presence of codes, ciphers, and cryptic clues that must be solved before the location of the prize is revealed. This element of intellectual challenge, the need to break a code, transforms the treasure hunt from a mere physical search into a battle of wits with the mapmaker. While the elaborate ciphers of popular fiction are often exaggerated, historical maps and documents do sometimes contain encoded information to protect their secrets from prying eyes. One of the most famous and perplexing examples of a coded treasure map is the legend of the Beale ciphers. This story revolves around a series of 3 encrypted messages that allegedly describe the location of a buried treasure of gold, silver, and jewels in Bedford County, Virginia. The treasure was supposedly buried in the early 1820s by a man named Thomas J. Beale. He entrusted a box containing the papers to a local innkeeper, Robert Morris, before disappearing forever. Decades later, a friend of Morris published the ciphers in a pamphlet. Of the 3 ciphers, only the second one has been successfully decoded. The key to this cipher turned out to be the United States Declaration of Independence. By numbering the words in the declaration and matching them to the numbers in the cipher, a plain text message was revealed, detailing the staggering contents of the treasure. However, the first and third ciphers, which are said to contain the precise location of the treasure and the names of the original owners, respectively, remain unsolved to this day. This has led many to believe that the Beale ciphers are an elaborate and clever hoax. Skeptics point out inconsistencies in the story and the fact that despite nearly 2 centuries of attempts by amateur and professional cryptographers, no verifiable progress has been made on the remaining ciphers. Whether a genuine puzzle or a masterful fabrication, the Beale ciphers stand as a classic example of how cryptography adds a compelling layer of mystery to the legend of lost treasure. The symbols found on treasure maps can also be a form of code, a visual language meant to be understood by a select few. While there is no universal code for interpreting these symbols, certain themes and patterns can be observed. Natural features like distinctively shaped trees, mountains, and rivers are often used as permanent landmarks. Geometric shapes such as circles, squares, and triangles might represent specific locations or distances. The compass rose, a common feature on navigational charts, is crucial for determining direction. The interpretation of these symbols is highly subjective and depends heavily on the historical and cultural context in which the map was created. A symbol that is significant in one landscape may be meaningless in another. This ambiguity is what makes the process of decoding a treasure map so challenging and, for many, so captivating. It requires not just an understanding of cartography, but also a deep dive into the history, folklore, and symbolism of the people who created it. The great hoaxes and enduring legends. The world of treasure maps is rife with stories that blur the line between fact and fiction, and some of the most famous and enduring legends may in fact be elaborate hoaxes. The Oak Island Money Pit in Nova Scotia, for instance, has been the subject of one of the world's longest-running and most expensive treasure hunts. The legend began in 1795 when a young man discovered a circular depression in the ground, and with friends began to dig. They soon encountered a layer of flagstones and then a series of oak log platforms at regular intervals down a deep shaft. This discovery fueled a quest that has now spanned more than 2 centuries, involving numerous expeditions, the loss of lives, and millions of dollars. The legend speaks of booby-trapped tunnels, cryptic symbols on a stone tablet, and the possibility of buried riches ranging from pirate gold to the Holy Grail and Shakespeare's lost manuscripts. However, despite the use of increasingly sophisticated technology, no significant treasure has ever been recovered from Oak Island. Geologists have suggested that the money pit may be a natural phenomenon, such as a sinkhole, common in the island's gypsum-rich geology. This lack of discovery, coupled with the dubious origins of many of the stories and artifacts associated with the island, has led many to conclude that the Oak Island Money Pit is a captivating but ultimately fabricated tale, a legend kept alive by hope and human determination. Another legendary treasure that continues to inspire expeditions is the Treasure of Lima. In 1820, as the Peruvian War of Independence raged, Spanish authorities in Lima decided to transport the city's vast wealth to Mexico for safekeeping. The treasure, which reputedly included life-size gold statues of the apostles, hundreds of jewels, and chests filled with gold coins, was loaded onto the ship Mary Dear, commanded by Captain William Thompson. However, Thompson and his crew turned pirate, killed the Spanish guards and priests on board, and made off with the immense fortune. They are said to have sailed to Cocos Island, an uninhabited volcanic island off the coast of modern-day Costa Rica, where they buried the treasure. The crew of the Mary Dear was eventually captured, and most were hanged for piracy. Only Thompson and his first mate supposedly survived by promising to lead the Spanish to the buried treasure. They managed to escape and, according to legend, never returned for their loot. Since then, hundreds of treasure hunting expeditions have descended upon Cocos Island. Yet, despite countless maps and claims of discovery, not a single gold coin of the treasure of Lima has ever been verifiably found. This enduring mystery has led some to question whether the treasure was ever buried on Cocos Island at all, or if the story itself is an embellished seafaring tale. These stories, whether based in a kernel of truth or entirely fictional, speak to the power of treasure maps to inspire and endure. They create a narrative that combines adventure, mystery, and the hope of life-changing wealth, a combination that has proven irresistible for centuries. The legends persist because they tap into a fundamental human desire for discovery and the belief that there is still something wondrous waiting to be found just beneath the surface of the world we know. They challenge us to look at a simple chart, a coded message, or an old story and wonder what secrets it might still hold. But in an age of satellite imagery and ground-penetrating radar, what is the role of the classic treasure map? Has technology rendered these ancient guides obsolete? Or has it provided treasure hunters with new tools to finally unlock their centuries-old secrets? The hunt, it seems, is far from over. The modern treasure hunter. Technology meets tradition. In an age where satellites can map every inch of the globe and geological surveys can peer deep into the Earth's crust, the idea of a crumpled, hand-drawn map seems almost quaint. Yet far from becoming obsolete, the historical treasure map has entered a new and fascinating chapter, one where ancient clues are investigated with cutting-edge technology. The modern treasure hunter is as likely to carry a laptop and a ground-penetrating radar unit as they are a shovel and a compass. The goal is no longer just to follow the map, but to use science to verify its claims. This fusion of old and new begins with pinpointing the location. Global positioning systems, or GPS, have replaced the sextant and the stars. A map that describes a location with vague instructions like 30 paces from the tall oak can now be cross-referenced with historical land surveys and satellite imagery to identify the potential plot of land with an accuracy of a few feet. Once on site, a new arsenal of tools comes into play. Advanced metal detectors, far more sensitive than their predecessors, can now discriminate between different types of metal, filtering out junk to identify potential targets of gold or silver. Magnetometers, which measure variations in the Earth's magnetic field, are used to detect large iron objects, such as a sea chest's iron bands or perhaps even a buried cannon used as a marker. Perhaps the most transformative tool is ground-penetrating radar, or GPR. By sending radio waves into the ground and analyzing the signals that bounce back, GPR can create a ghostly image of what lies beneath the surface. It can detect disturbed earth where a hole was once dug, the outlines of buried structures or anomalies that could represent a hidden chamber or a buried container. Furthermore, LiDAR, light detection and ranging, has proven to be a revolutionary technology. Often operated from an aircraft, LiDAR fires millions of laser pulses at the ground, measuring the time they take to return. This process can digitally strip away dense vegetation like a forest canopy, revealing the precise contours of the ground beneath. This technology has been instrumental in archaeology, uncovering forgotten Mayan cities and Roman roads hidden for centuries. For the treasure hunter, it offers the unprecedented ability to see if the ground features described on a 400-year-old map, an ancient earthwork, a filled-in well, or an old trail, still exist, even when completely invisible to the naked eye. However, this technology is not a magic wand that points directly to gold. It is a tool of interpretation. A GPR anomaly could be a treasure chest, but it is far more likely to be a large rock, a tree root, or a change in soil composition. Technology's greatest contribution is its ability to narrow the search. It allows researchers to survey vast areas identified by a map or a legend and focus their expensive and labor-intensive excavation efforts on the most promising targets. The map still provides the essential question. Technology simply offers a more sophisticated way to find the answer. It is a high-tech conversation with the past, where ancient clues are interrogated with modern science. The persistence of mystery. Why we still search with all this technology and historical knowledge? One might expect that all the great treasures would have been found. Yet the most famous legends endure, and people continue to dedicate their lives and fortunes to the search. This raises a fundamental question. If the chances are slim and the evidence is often questionable, why do we still search? The answer reveals that the allure of the treasure map runs far deeper than mere financial greed. For many, the true prize is not the gold, but the chase itself. It is the ultimate puzzle, a combination of historical research, cryptographic decryption, geographical navigation, and physical exploration. Successfully deciphering a single clue on a centuries-old document provides a profound intellectual satisfaction and a tangible connection to the person who created it. It is an opportunity to step out of the modern world and into a story of adventure, risk, and immense possibility. This pursuit taps into a fundamental human desire for discovery. In a world that often feels fully explored and catalogued, a treasure map represents one of the last true frontiers. It suggests that there are still great secrets hidden just beneath the surface, waiting for someone with the right blend of persistence, intellect, and luck to uncover them. This pursuit can also become a noble endeavor in its own right. Many modern treasure hunters are also meticulous historians and conservationists. The search for a lost Spanish galleon, for example, often leads to the discovery of a priceless archaeological site. The shipwreck, even if it holds no gold, becomes a time capsule, preserving a perfect snapshot of life in another era. The hunt for treasure often yields something far more valuable to society, a piece of our collective past. The enduring power of these stories is also a testament to our love for a good mystery. The legends of Oak Island or the treasure of Lima persist not because of overwhelming proof, but because of the tantalizing lack of it. They exist in a compelling space between fact and folklore. Every unexplained clue, every failed expedition, every new theory only adds another layer to the enigma, making it more compelling, not less. We search because we are drawn to the unknown, and a treasure map is the most iconic invitation to explore it. Brujo, conclusion. Decoding the human spirit. Our journey into the world of treasure maps has taken us from the verifiable antiquity of the Copper Scroll to the literary myths of Treasure Island, from the cartographic marvels of Pori Reis to the unsolved riddles of the Beale ciphers. We have seen how the iconic pirate map with its skull and crossbones and X marks the spot is largely a fiction, yet one that has permanently captured our collective imagination. We have explored the real-world mysteries of charts that seem to hold impossible knowledge and coded messages that continue to defy the brightest minds. We have learned that a treasure map is not one single thing. It can be a literal inventory of riches, a navigational tool holding secrets of forgotten lands, or a complex cryptographic puzzle. We have also seen how the most enduring legends, like those of Oak Island and Cocos Island, thrive on the power of their stories, often in the complete absence of physical treasure. In the modern era, the quest has evolved but has not diminished. Technology has provided new eyes to see beneath the ground and through the dense canopy of time, but it has not replaced the map itself. Instead, it serves the map, helping to confirm or deny the claims made centuries ago. Ultimately, the enduring legacy of the treasure map lies not in the wealth it promises, but in what it reveals about ourselves. The true X marks a spot deep within the human spirit. Our unquenchable thirst for adventure, our fascination with the past, our love for solving a complex puzzle, and our persistent hope that a discovery of immense wonder lies just over the horizon. The gold, silver, and jewels are a powerful lure, but the real treasure is the quest. It is the belief that history has not yet given up all of its secrets, and that we, with a map in hand, might just be the ones to find them, lost and found in the modern age. The combination of ancient cartography and modern technology is not merely theoretical. It has yielded some of the most spectacular finds in recent history. These discoveries prove that old parchments and historical records, when placed in the right hands and viewed through a technological lens, can still lead to immense fortune and historical revelation. The key is often not a single X, but a painstaking process of cross-referencing multiple historical sources with scientific survey data. Perhaps the most legendary example is the discovery of the Spanish galleon, San Jose. Sunk in 1708 during a battle with the British off the coast of Cartagena, Colombia, the San Jose went down with a cargo of gold, silver, and emeralds from the mines of Peru, believed to be worth as much as $17 billion today. For centuries, it was considered the holy grail of shipwrecks. Numerous treasure hunting companies searched for it, armed with various historical accounts and maps, but all failed. The breakthrough came in 2015. A team from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, working with the Colombian government, located the wreck. Their success was not due to one secret map, but a multifaceted approach. They conducted exhaustive archival research in Spain and Colombia, piecing together clues from captains' logs, naval battle reports, and historical charts to narrow the search area. Once they had a probable zone, they deployed an autonomous underwater vehicle named Remus 6000. This advanced robot surveyed the seabed with side-scan sonar, creating a detailed acoustic map. Upon detecting a promising target, it was sent back down with high-resolution cameras. The final, breathtaking proof came when the cameras revealed the ship's unique dolphin-engraved bronze cannons, a specific detail mentioned in historical documents, confirming beyond all doubt that they had found the legendary San Jose. The map was the history. The technology was the key that unlocked it. This principle extends beyond the sea. In 2019, an amateur historian and metal detectorist in Scotland, following up on information gleaned from a 300-year-old map, discovered a trove of Jacobite memorabilia buried shortly after the Battle of Culloden in 1746. The map itself did not lead directly to the treasure, but it identified the historical location of a loyalist's home, prompting a more focused technological search of the area. The find, while not monetarily vast, was of immense historical and cultural significance, a direct physical link to a pivotal moment in Scottish history. These examples show that the maps are not just guides, they are starting points for a complex modern investigation. The new cartographer's code, legal and ethical quandaries. Finding the treasure, however, is no longer the end of the story. In the 21st century, it is often the beginning of a complex legal and ethical battle. The romantic notion of a treasure hunter sailing off into the sunset with a chest of gold is a relic of the past. Today, any significant find immediately raises a crucial question. Who has the rightful claim? The case of the San Jose galleon is a prime example. Upon its discovery, it ignited a multi-sided international dispute. Spain claims ownership because it was a Spanish state vessel. Colombia claims ownership as it was found in its territorial waters. Furthermore, Bolivia and Peru have argued that the treasure was plundered from their lands and people by the Spanish Empire, giving them an indigenous claim to the wealth. Private salvage companies that spent millions searching for the wreck have also attempted to stake their claims. The treasure remains on the seabed, its recovery mired in a web of international law. This is a common narrative in the world of modern treasure hunting. The UNESCO 2001 Convention on the Protection of the Underwater Cultural Heritage is a key international agreement designed to protect such sites from being commercially exploited. It treats shipwrecks not as salvage opportunities, but as archaeological sites, sacred historical capsules that belong to humanity as a whole. Many nations have adopted this stance, viewing private treasure hunters as looters who destroy invaluable historical context in their search for marketable artifacts. This has created a deep divide. On one side are the archaeologists and governments who argue for preservation and academic study. They contend that the true value of a wreck like the San Jose is not the gold, but what the ship's contents, its ceramics, its tools, its construction, can teach us about the 18th century world. On the other side are the treasure hunters who often invest millions of their own dollars and take immense risks, arguing that without their drive and private funding, these historic wrecks would remain lost forever, their stories untold. They see themselves as adventurers and discoverers, not destroyers. The modern map to treasure, therefore, must include a chart through the treacherous waters of international law, national sovereignty, and the heated debate over who truly owns the past. Conclusion: Decoding the human spirit. Our journey into the world of treasure maps has taken us from the verifiable antiquity of the copper scroll to the literary myths of Treasure Island, from the cartographic marvels of Piri Reis to the unsolved riddles of the Beale ciphers. We have seen how the iconic pirate map, with its skull and crossbones and X marks the spot, is largely a fiction, yet one that has permanently captured our collective imagination. We have explored the real-world mysteries of charts that seem to hold impossible knowledge and coded messages that continue to defy the brightest minds. We have learned that a treasure map is not one single thing. It can be a literal inventory of riches, a navigational tool holding secrets of forgotten lands, or a complex cryptographic puzzle. We have also seen how the most enduring legends, like those of Oak Island and Cocos Island, thrive on the power of their stories, often in the complete absence of physical treasure, fueled by an inextinguishable hope. In the modern era, the quest has evolved but has not diminished. The romantic pursuit of a lone adventurer has given way to a world of high-tech expeditions, complex historical research, and fierce legal battles. Technology has provided new eyes to see beneath the ground and through the dense canopy of time, but it has not replaced the map itself. Instead, it serves the map, helping to confirm, deny, or finally decode the claims made centuries ago. Ultimately, the enduring legacy of the treasure map lies not in the wealth it promises, but in what it reveals about ourselves. The true X marks a spot deep within the human spirit. Our unquenchable thirst for adventure, our fascination with the past, our love for solving a complex puzzle, and our persistent hope that a discovery of immense wonder lies just over the horizon. The gold, silver, and jewels are a powerful lure, but the real treasure is the quest. It is the belief that history has not yet given up all of its secrets, and that we, with a map in hand, might just be the ones to find them.